And good morning, people. Hey, what's happening? Apparently there's a little problem. A little tiny problem. Regarding our team, the coronavirus task force team. There might be a minor discrepancy. We got that and all kinds of other news. So I'm just going to play the intro and we'll get it started. Here we go. Bing. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. All right, stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, me, Marty, aka PDawg Night, as I'm known on the internet. Also, hey, it's May 12th, 2020. Happy Tuesday to everybody coming into the chat and watching in the background. I am so glad that you are here. We're going to have kind of a mishmash of articles today. They're not all related to each other like sometimes I like to do. Usually I like to have like one basic topic and go through different aspects of that. Today we're kind of, like I said, it's a mishmash day. And we got a little mellow beat in the background today. It's going to be kind of a beats day, so to speak. I do have my cup of reparations coffee on hand, however, and it is delicious. Only a little cough syrup in it today. And let's just get it going because I've got several articles and I'm going to see if I can get through all of them. And then we'll also do a regular quick tick at the Twitter trends, whatever that meant. And, that's just how the days goes. But first, let's say good morning to the crew that's already in the chat, rolling in quickly. Good morning to Richo, who was here first and gets the... Did that bell ring? I can't... Oh, did it work? What the hell? Hang on a second here. That can't be. I cannot leave my friend Richo hanging like that. Let's try this again. All right, now let's see if it works. There we go. And now we got the bell for Richo. Also, good morning to Cindy Rochelle. Also, thank you, Cindy, for tweeting out the show. I always appreciate that. Good morning, Grillin' Pirate Pete. Pete, I have a bone to pick with you. Wait, actually, I don't have a bone to pick with you because you still haven't put up the pictures of the finished products of those ribs you were working on the other day. But that's okay. I know you can't do it every time, and it may be too late. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm glad you're here as always. Also, good morning to Avocados Diabli, Mike Savage, Renee Mayette, the Reverend Tex Watson. Good morning also Sean DW, Mr. Hugh. What's up? Lennon McCarthy 2.0. I'm so glad you're here. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. Cal Kennel. I know I'm saying that right, but it always feels so awkward to say that one. But Cal Kennel, good morning. And that looks like everyone who's in the chat. I'm sure some of you are lurking or just slowly rolling in. That's cool too. Also, good morning. This is Kyle. Yes, hello chat people. And PDawg. Thank you, sir. And good morning to Maniac Man. See, I say it right. I've always chuckled because when I see you watching shows on other channels that we kind of watch at the same time, everyone says Manic Man. I'm like, no, it's Maniac. Maniac Man. It's not like Manic Monday. It's, whatever. Hello. And good morning, Smarty Bear. All right. That's who I got so far. And I know some other people are going to roll in. Hopefully I'll see you coming in. But I just want to talk about, I named the show today a credibility gap. And the reason I called that because, there's a lot of people out there talking about the koof, right? The corona apocalypse, the Wuhan virus, the COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. And in fact, Andrew Cuomo is now calling it get this. The European virus, but whatever. What a jackass. Anyway, well, there's a little problem. Hey, I didn't forget you, C. Thomas. You just got in the chat. What do you mean I forgot you? Wait, were you up here earlier? No, you were. I forgotten you. No, I didn't forget you, C. Thomas. Of course, I'm not forgetting you, but I will say hi to. So, good morning, C. Thomas, of course, and also Selective Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And also Gunfox61. All right, real quick. So, this title is about a credibility gap, which is there's lots of credibility gaps going on right now in the world. Kingslayer Damocles, what's happening? I see you there too. But this one in particular caught my eye because it has to do with the coronavirus task force and Dr. Deborah Birx, one of the scientists. Now she gets a lot of shit from the how do I describe them? From the TDS crowd, okay? She gets a lot of shit from the TDS crowd because they just don't think she pushes back against the president enough, right? C-SPAN covered the coronavirus task force. Oh, are they doing that right now? Is that on right now? Let me see here. Let me take a quick peek here. Are we gonna do some live? You know, I don't like doing that. Sometimes I like doing the coronavirus task force live. Oh, are they going on right now? Oh, the Anthony Fauci doing testifying in front of the Senate. Yeah, we're not going to watch that. I'd like to, but I think what I'll do is I'll watch it after the fact, and then I will I'll report on it afterwards. I know that I know Chuck Schumer had some words for him. I think I have something about that somewhere in here. But anyway, we'll go to that later. All right, so here we go. Oh, good morning, RVA, too. But Dr. Birx, who gets a lot of shit from the TDS crowd, because she's been disappointing them. She doesn't push back enough against Trump and blah, 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 blah. Well, I know that this one is going to make her unpopular with TDS 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and so on. Because apparently, just like some of the so-called, I don't even know if I can say this word on a YouTube stream, but conspiracies. Some of those people who believe in conspiracies, who say that, they might be inflating the coronavirus death toll numbers. And everyone says, "Oh, you're like Alex Jones, and you're just a conspiracy theorist, and you're just a Trumpster, Trumpkin, blah 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 blah, whatever." Well, apparently, Dr. Birx is also having a concern about the coronavirus death toll. Dr. Birx reportedly believes the coronavirus death toll has been inflated by up to 25%. Dr. Deborah Birx, the White House Coronavirus Task Force Response Coordinator, believes some official COVID-19 statistics, like death tolls, may be inflated by up to 25%, according to a new report. Birx criticized the methods the Center for Disease Control and Prevention was using to collect its data during a heated task force meeting, according to a report Saturday from the Washington Post. There's nothing from the CDC that I can trust, Birx reportedly told CD Director Robert Redfield. Birx told the Post in a statement that mortality is slowly declining each day and that the focus should be on protecting Americans who are older or have pre-existing health conditions that make them vulnerable to the virus. Here, as they're figuring out some places. By the way, good morning, Shiagraph, Chi-Town J, Kaliho Girl. That's a great name. Is that a... What's their original? it's in the chat somewhere. Just type the origin of the Calijo girl. I like that name. That's nice. And good morning, Midnight in Exile. So Birx told okay, I already told you that. To keep with this trend, it is essential that seniors and those with comorbidities shelter in place and that we continue to protect vulnerable communities, Birx reportedly said. 2/3 of Americans also doubt the official coronavirus numbers, according to an Axios poll published earlier this May. But of course, those are just the conspiracy theorists. That's just bullshit, right? There would be no reason that hospitals would be inflating their numbers and whatnot. Oh, it's Hawaiian. I thought it might be. What does it mean? I'm curious. Just if you don't mind, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I really like it. I have 2 nieces who do Hawaiian dance in California. They do competitions and stuff, and I thought it sounded Hawaiian, but anyway. Okay, 2/3 of Americans also doubt coronavirus numbers. Yeah, all those conspiracy theorists who just would doubt the actual the numbers that they're putting out. Why would a hospital? Why would they code something as a coronavirus death, a COVID-19 death, if it wasn't real? Oh, they get money for each coronavirus patient they get from the government, and also everyone they put on a ventilator. Why would they do that? That would never happen, right? Okay, so the poll found that 40% of Republicans believe the number of deaths are being overcounted, compared to 24% who believe they are being undercounted. There are a lot of people who believe they're being undercounted too, and it's possible maybe some are being undercounted because they're not getting them all, but I don't think once the people are dead, they're being undercounted. And in fact, sometimes they find dead people and add them to the totals whether they know if they have coronavirus or not. But I'm not saying I'm not saying they're being untruthful at all. Why would they want to do that? They get money for each coronavirus patient and death they get. You would just never know why they would think about doing that. Anyway, on the other side of the aisle, just 7% of Democrats believe the number of deaths are being overcounted because the government is always honest and forthright and correct and pristine in their number counting abilities, and compared to 63% of Democrats who believe they're being undercounted because Trump is evil, of course. The liho choice, it's part of my middle, which is Kaliho Wainohoya, which means the choice that leads to safety. Also, that's cool. Thank you for saying it right. Most don't. Well, I just botched it when I'm trying to say it, the whole thing, but okay, very cool. Thank you for letting me know that. And good morning to James Colley too. Concerns over the way death tolls were being counted emerged after New York added 4,000 people who never had tested positive to its official count overnight. The CDC later confirmed that they were including probable cases of the virus in its official counts, potentially adding thousands of people who never tested positive to the official death tolls. The official death toll from certain diseases can often take years to accumulate, and the CDC studies death certificates to estimate death tolls for diseases. And we also know from that little James, what's his name? James, the Project Veritas guy. Not Damore, that's the Google guy. Anyway, Project Veritas has been interviewing funeral home directors who are saying, just put it on, just what did they die of? Oh, I don't know. Just put coronavirus, put COVID-19 on it. They died from that. That's just add it to the count, So anyway, wow, that's some pretty high falutin stuff that Dr. Birx is also somewhat skeptical. Interesting. Good morning, James Ferdstrom. I see you there. Ned Cynical Lindsay, hello. All right, so that's that. Now, like I said, the theme today is the credibility gap. And so there's obviously a gap in what may be the numbers and may not be the numbers. I guess we'll find out. Also, James O'Keefe, thank you. I don't know why I was brain farting there. Now, like I said, it's going to be a hodgepodge of different articles today because I didn't have a theme. I was going to talk about coronavirus, but I'm sick of talking about coronavirus. So instead, we're going to talk about potentially corrupt people. So a very interesting thing happened in January of 2017. The Vice President of the United States, the day before the inauguration of the new administration, so that Vice President of the United States would be someone named Joe Biden. The day before the Trump administration had their inauguration day, Joe Biden took a little trip. And some are saying it's an unusual trip. Hiding in plain sight, Biden's inauguration Eve trip to Ukraine. What was Joe Biden doing in Kiev, or Kyiv, as some people like to pronounce it, on January 17th, 2017? Hey, PDawg Knight, check the number. What number am I checking here, Jay Wolf? Out of curiosity. The number of... Check the number. What number am I checking, please? All right. It is highly unusual for an outgoing vice president to travel abroad during the days before the beginning of the new administration. An examination of the National Archives reveals no foreign travel on the part of Dick Cheney between the 2008 election and the Obama-Biden inauguration, nor any foreign travel by Vice President Al Gore before the Bush-Cheney inauguration of 2001. Cindy, I'm sorry that you have to take off. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. During the time before the inauguration, the outgoing vice president's duty to the American people is to help the president-elect, and the vice president-elect with an orderly transmission. Oh, the hashtag, not the number. Check out the hashtag. Thank you. All right, I will check out the hashtag today. The closer to inauguration day, the more important it becomes to handle sensitive details diligently. This was a duty that Joe Biden decided was subordinate to his desire to travel abroad. 3 days before the Trump-Pence inauguration, Biden was halfway around the world meeting with leaders of a foreign government. Biden's trip not only took him away from his duties in Washington, it also consumed the attention of many senior presidential, vice presidential, and State Department staff for the days before, during, and after the trip, who should have been giving their undivided attention to the transition. For Biden, the vice president's absence was from the White House during one of the most important weeks of his official responsibilities, and subjecting himself and senior White House staff to jet lag during the inauguration itself. Were That sentence doesn't make sense. Were reasonable costs for the United States to pay in exchange for his presence in a faraway foreign country. That country was Ukraine. Now, so what was Biden doing in Kyiv on January 17, 2017? He was creating an opportunity for himself to speak unmonitored with the bosses of a corrupt country whose natural gas company was paying his miscreant son more than $83,000 a month in phony consulting fees. What Biden was doing, above all, was not talking on the phone. Everyone knows that a U.S. president or vice president who speaks on a secure quote unquote, phone line with a foreign leader can have his top secret conversation leaked, distorted, and, in Donald Trump's case, involving another president of Ukraine, made into a basis for a bogus impeachment process. Whatever Biden had to say in Kyiv, he knew he did not want it to be overheard by the many bureaucratic busybodies, the Munchkins. We all used to call them in the Reagan State Department, who manage to listen in or receive transcripts of these highly sensitive communications. Only by getting face-to-face in Kyiv with his Ukrainian contacts could Biden be certain of his ability to conduct such communications with them without anyone else or our government or theirs knowing about it. One might recall the hysteria that has broken out on the occasion at multilateral conferences when President Trump was reported to be in conversation alone with Russian President Vladimir Putin and an interpreter. No bureaucrats allowed. Our mainstream media, the left-wing Leviathan, and their well-compensated rhino manservants such as Michael Gerson and Peter Weiner, whatever that is, have acquired a newfound taste for the methods of the late Senator Joseph McCarthy. They are shocked when President Trump speaks alone and off the telephone with a foreign leader who is known not to have American interests at heart. Normal people know that every president should do this. It's called statecraft. When Trump does it, the press and the rhinos, the TDS, I should say the TDS deranged whatever morons, call it treason or corruption or both. So by these standards, what is one to think of Biden's strange trip to Ukraine on the eve of the Trump inauguration? Apparently he did have a cover story here. Yes, the hashtag not a number. Yes, I figured that out eventually. Lindsay, you're well. Okay. He just wanted he wanted some perfect chicken Kiev on the government dime. Yes, avocado style, I believe. That's why they call you the devil's advocate. Apparently, the cover story was that Biden was in Kiev to give a speech exhorting Ukrainians to repent and renounce their centuries-old habit of public corruption. Oh my God. Think about it. A man who in 3 days would have no power, gave a public speech demanding that his corrupt hosts, people who only fear overwhelming power, which he would add none in a few days, give up their addiction to corruption. Preposterous. Biden delivered his fire and brimstone sermon in Kyiv, but why? The gesture made about as much sense as a Biden going to Harvey Weinstein's front lawn with a bullhorn urging the Democratic Party mega donor to forsake lechery, put on a sackcloth and ashes, and embrace celibacy for the glory of the kingdom of God. That's kind of funny. I don't know. The truth is what we will never know. Or the truth is that we will never know the identities of every person with whom Biden spoke when he was in Kyiv in January 2017. No one apart from the direct interlocutors, not even the Vindman twins, will ever know everything that Biden and his Ukrainian friends had to say to one another 72 hours before the Trump administration. Maybe they were trying to hide the bodies. I don't know. Or just telling somebody not to talk about his son. Anyway. All right, let me do a quick shill here. E. Michael, how you doing there, man? The Morning Night Live, as you know, is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please share this stream if you haven't done so already. I know some of you have done that. Thank you to oh shoot, what did I do there? I don't want to keep that. Stay there. Okay, good. Thank you again, Cindy Rochelle. Thank you, Arthur, and Tyler F. and Lennon Sidious. Goodness gracious, thank you so much for tweeting out the show. Also, Jay Wolf, thank you for doing that. If you'd be so kind, you can hit the share arrow, share it on social media, or you can just follow me right down there. Twitter, mine's Gab, at PDawg Night, and either retweet or repost or whatever they call it on whatever format you're in. And also, if you like what we do, hit the like button sometime in the show. I will definitely remind you of that at the end of the show. Also, just to let you know, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. You can click the link that's in the chat right there. There's a super chat link or this show link. It comes up every once in a while in the chat, or you can just look down in the description down below, or just go to pdawgnight.live. That has the link in it, or you can do it right from that site also. All right. Now, yesterday we spent most of the day talking about, we were talking about Gate. Okay, because I just can't even say it because I don't want the channel to get slapped down. Speaking of slap down, good morning, Donatello Slap-a-Fellow. I have to be cautious, you know? I just have to be cautious. But when we were talking about Gate, there's an origin to that term. And apparently the reason that was been trending the last 2 days is because the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, retweeted a short video by someone named Jesse Waters, Waters World from Fox News. And then later he, in capital letters, he just in capital letters, he put the word Gate. Say it. I'm not going to say it. Anyway, so I went and found that video, and I think maybe we should share that here today. If I can fit it on the screen real quick here. Oh, you know what? We'll do it this way. We'll do it through a web article, and right here, this will work just dandy. So we're gonna.
These people are evil, and they're sick.
Stop, Jesse. Weld up, Jesse. I ain't ready for you yet. I'm almost ready for. I got to start from the beginning. Okay, so here's the video that brought on the 2-day trending hashtag Gate. Here we go.
I'm Jesse Waters. Obamagate.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the subject of tonight's Waters work.
I gotta be okay. Well, anyway.
Words.
I'm proud of the fact that
there he is.
Ago, we're probably the first administration in modern history that hasn't had a major scandal in the
Oh my God! Never had the only administration in history has never had any major scandal, motherfucker. Oh shit! I swore. Wait! I'm not even gonna say it because I just thought of something. One of my articles today is in reference to one of those non-scandals. So I'm not even gonna talk about these scandals. You know, oh my God, there was all kinds of scandals, but the media sure didn't treat them like scandals. But anyway, let's watch this video first.
What a joke.
Oh yes,
the Obama
it's
people
a joke.
got caught this week, and it looks like it goes straight to the top. Let's start here. Remember these Obama officials who told the country Trump was a traitor?
What a great case officer Vladimir Putin is. He knows how to handle an asset, and that's what he's doing with the president.
Do you still believe the president could be a Russian asset?
I think it's possible.
You know what? These all deserve a. Let's do it. Okay.
Putin's got a very high return on his investment.
He's taken a series of steps that had Vladimir Putin dictated them, he couldn't have mirrored more effectively.
These horrible people were lying on national television.
Because under oath, they had no evidence. All of them under oath, no evidence. Oh nope, I had no evidence. Nope, no evidence, no evidence.
They knew they were lying. They just didn't think they'd get caught. Well, we caught them. When House Republicans put them under oath in 2017, every single one of them said they'd seen no evidence of collusion. So American patriot Rick Grinnell, acting director of national intelligence, released the transcripts of these lowlives admitting there was never collusion.
Ooh, Jesse, that's kind of harsh. Lowlives. Scum. Fucking scum.
You ready? James Clapper. Quote, never saw any direct empirical evidence.
You're a
Samantha
lying
Power,
dog-faced pony
I am not in
soldier.
possession of anything. Susan Rice, I don't recall
boy.
evidence to that effect. And Andrew McCabe on the Steele dossier.
How dare you?
We have not been able to prove the accuracy. So the Obama administration wiretapped, spied on, and investigated their political opponents, and they never had any evidence of
Under
collusion.
oath, no evidence.
They didn't have any then, and they don't have any now, because there was no collusion. It was a frame-up. Now, what they did was they went on TV and told everybody Trump was a traitor, though. Adam Schiff did too. These people are evil and they're sick. I hate them for what they did to this country. And I'll never forgive them. And I'll never forgive them for what they did to Michael Flynn, a 3-star general who
Which
spent
may be
30 years protecting
him and
America.
Papadopoulos.
The Department of Justice finally dropped the case against him. Here's AG Bill Barr.
What should Americans take away from your actions in the Flynn case today?
I want to make sure that we restore confidence in the system. There's only one standard of justice.
When history looks back on this decision.
See, Thomas, damn it. You had me saying it, just reading what you said. Obamagate. I don't think YouTube can hear me, though, because when I whisper, they can't hear me. That's why I whisper a lot, because I don't want YouTube to hear me. So don't tell YouTube that I said Obamagate, because I don't want them to hear me.
How do you think it will be written?
Well, history's written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history.
You know, that's funny, but it's also true. And that's why this November is so important. These
Hello, Dr.
disgraceful
No.
people will rewrite history if they get the chance. Now, the GOJ said there was no basis for James Comey to send in FBI agents to interview Flynn. The DOJ said the interview was unjustified and had nothing to do with a legitimate investigation. The DOJ said Flynn's phone call with the Russian ambassador was perfectly legal and totally appropriate. The DOJ said Flynn did not violate the stupid Logan Act and that he never committed perjury anyway. Remember, we finally saw documents that showed FBI agents plotting to entrap Flynn, floating their goal to get him to lie, lock him up, or get him fired.
And you know what's amazing about this? I remember, now I was a little kid and didn't fully understand what I was hearing and everything. During Watergate, I was like 6, 7 years old. But I do remember how big of a deal it was that somebody broke into these offices in the Watergate building and stole some information. They were getting dirt on the Democrats and all this. And there was tapes that Nixon might have knew or whatever. And this is so much worse. So much destruction of reputations. I mean, they literally tried to destroy a 30-year general and destroy people just because they were mad that Donald Trump was winning. It's just so amazing, dirty. Yes, in fact, Lindsay, your words, playing dirty, corrupt tricks to own the Orange Man. It's insanity.
The reason the Obama administration needed Flynn gone was because he was about to uncover the scandal that the Trump team had been illegally spied on and smeared. They needed Flynn gone because their coup needed to continue. And the second Flynn was confirmed as National Security Advisor, he'd be able to see everything that they'd been doing.
And he was there while they were doing it and could find things probably a lot quicker than most people. Boomer alert, what?
The president fumed over this injustice earlier.
I hope a lot of people are going to pay a big price because they're dishonest, crooked people. They're scum.
That's a clip I need. They're scum.
Say it a lot. They're scum. They're human scum. The Obama administration, Justice Department was a disgrace, and they got caught. They got caught. Very dishonest people, but much more than this. It's treason. It's treason.
Strong words.
And
they're backed by facts. New documents tell us everything. They'd opened up an investigation on Flynn just because he was on the Trump campaign and he traveled to Russia once. The Steele dossier was a Hillary hit job. And it was
Sean, that's an interesting point. Sean says, would be interesting if they would the first black president in jail we would never hear the end of it from the SJWs and BLM. I think that whatever happens with this, I think they will stop short of Obama. And I think that might be, regardless of the fact that whether there's proof that he did some, treason's a bit hyperbolic, but certainly so. I don't know what the technical term is for. It's not perjury because it's not somebody saying something false under oath, but forming a false investigation. There are laws against that. I think they would stop at Obama just because of that. Because I mean, regardless, the high people, Clapper, Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Page, Baker, Priestap, those groups. Imagine just if your administration had the legacy of having most of your top justice people go to jail or be convicted of something, pay huge fines. It's going, I'm going to use this word again, it will be a taint, a taint on that administration that supposedly had no scandals, which is a joke anyway. There's all kinds of scandals, but anyway.
It was all just Russian disinformation, and they knew it, and they used it anyway to get a warrant. The FBI had doctored evidence.
Oh, Schiff too. Schiff. I don't know. Pelosi, maybe. Schiff. Yeah. Man, there's going to be lawsuits. I'm sure the civil suits aren't going to be pretty either. Possibly Schiff is probably a real good candidate for a big ass civil suit too.
To listen to Carter Page's phone calls. The Papadopoulos conversation at the bar, CIA set up. The Manafort Black Book was a fake tip from Clinton's Ukrainian contacts. The spies, the wiretaps. Flynn was about to find out all. So Obama's team illegally leaked Flynn's classified phone call to create a Russian cloud around him and then sneak FBI agents into the White House to take him out.
He even left out the fake breaking out. What are they called? The computer data company. I forget it.
Barack Obama knew what was going on. New transcripts show Obama was aware of the intimate details of Flynn's call. A call that wasn't criminal at all. This raised eyebrows because Obama hated Flynn, fired him in 2014, and told Trump...
Yeah, because Flynn... what was it? Flynn did something where he contradicted Obama. And so, talk about dictator. Not the Steele dossier. I was thinking about CrowdStrike. Anyway.
To hire him. It makes sense now, doesn't it? As we told you last week, Flynn clashed with Obama's CIA. He didn't like how political they were and believed they were covering up the truth about Al-Qaeda. On January 5th, 2017, during the transition, Obama DOJ official Sally Yates attended an Oval Office meeting with Comey, Biden, Brennan, Rice, and Clapper, according to these documents.
And guess what she proved? Or at least in her testimony, she proved that...
They were discussing Russian election interference, which they'd obviously use as an excuse for Hillary losing. And after the briefing, Obama asked Yates and Comey to stay behind and said he had learned of the information about Flynn and his conversation with the Russian ambassador. Obama was seeking information on whether the White House should be treating Flynn any differently, given the information. Yates recalled James Comey mentioning the Logan Act in front of the president, which ended up being the BS excuse for unleashing the sting. Another memo says Biden stayed behind too, and witnessed the conversation. Now, remember the Strzok page text?
Isn't he running for president?
Remember this one? The White House is running this. POTUS wants to know everything we're doing. Naturally, because counterintelligence investigations are done solely for the commander-in-chief. It all connects now, doesn't it? A source is telling Watters World that Attorney General Bill Barr was just given a trove of smoking gun documents that could point directly at former President Barack Obama, revealing his powerful connection to Spygate and the Russia hoax. Yesterday, President Trump hinted this is far from over. Here's the tweet. Yesterday was a big day for justice in the USA. Congratulations to General Flynn and many
They
others.
are all
I do
out there
believe there
trying
is
to cover their
much more to
asses.
come. Dirty cops and crooked politicians do not go well together. We'll have to wait and see how this all unfolds. Reports are that Adam Schiff is, quote, panicking. John Durham is working around the clock, putting together a winnable case in court. But if this goes all the way to the top, like it appears it does, Bill Barr is going to have to appoint a special prosecutor with a wider scope to get to the bottom.
I wonder who that
should
could
I
be.
say, the top.
Who'd be a good
of
person?
Obamagate.
I wish I could say Trey Gowdy, but I don't know if Trey Gowdy's necessarily on board for all this or not. But that would be funny if it was Trey Gowdy, because he's a pit bull of a prosecutor. In fact, I don't think he ever lost a case when he was Attorney General in South Carolina. Anyway, so look, remember during the whole 3 years of this Russiagate thing, there was always the phrase, the walls are closing in, and this is the bombshell, right? Everything was a bombshell, the walls are closing in. And then they always said that when they were bringing in these different people to interview that, oh, these people are gonna flip and sing. I just gotta wonder how many of these officials who we now know testified under oath that they had no evidence. Way back when they had no evidence, right? How many of them, knowing what they said in the past, who can't really go back on it now because that would be perjury, how many of them are going to flip and sing? Moving on. So, speaking of current people that we're talking about, apparently Richard Grenell, the new DNI, Director of National Intelligence, has declassified a list of Obama officials who unmasked Michael Flynn. This is getting great. We were just starting to declassify all this stuff, and boy, oh boy, I hope they get this shit done, get rolling soon. Richard Grenell, the acting director of national intelligence, has declassified documents related to Obama administration officials' unmasking of Michael Flynn and transcripts of phone calls he had with Russia's ambassador, a senior intelligence official told the Daily Caller News Foundation. Grenell visited the Justice Department last week to meet with officials there to discuss releasing the documents, which include names of Obama-era officials involved in unmasking Flynn's name in the phone call transcripts. ABC News first reported that Grenell visited the Justice Department to discuss the unmasking issue. Senior intelligence official told the DCNF that the documents could be released soon. Oh my goodness! Bring it on. Unmasking refers to a process where a top U.S. government official can request information on American citizens picked up during electronic surveillance of foreigners. Flynn was unveiled as taking part in a December 29th, 2016 phone call with Sergei Kislyak, the Russian ambassador. They had a transcript of that phone call. I bet some, Gunfox, you're probably right. I bet some are already flipping. They probably brought him into a room of trampolines and they're going to town right now. Now, it's not illegal for U.S. officials to make unmasking requests, but the information on Flynn was leaked to the Washington Post, opening up the possibility that someone in the Obama administration illegally disclosed classified information. Oh, well, we already know that the Secretary of State did that a few times, but I'm just saying, you know. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, this is how the whole Flynn thing got started. So good. Start declassifying as much as you can without, doing whatever. Anyway, also moving on. Also, another investigation into the Russian probe is going full throttle. The investigation into the origins of the Russian collusion probe continues in full throttle. As U.S. Attorney for Connecticut, John Durham is joined by U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Missouri, Jeff Jensen, and interim U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Timothy Shea. See, now here's the thing. Now John Durham is a career Justice Department attorney. Has been there for a long time. Already has experience reprimanding. Prosecuting bad cops. Let's put it that way. He's prosecuted CIA and FBI officials for doing things off the books. Well, and then Jeff Jensen and Timothy Shea, I think, are new people in the department. I think they're I don't know if they're political appointments or what, but they're getting the people who are not the career people, because it's the career people who are the problem in some of these cases. Anyway, Fox News reported that Jensen would be assisting Durham's investigation even after he looked into the charges against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and recommended those charges be dropped. Shea has taken on parts of the investigation to help ease the burden on Durham because there's a whole lot of shit they're finding. They farmed the investigation out because it's too much for Durham and he didn't want to be distracted, a source told Fox. He's going full throttle and they're looking at everything.
Yeah, boy.
Let's see, any indication that Durham could be building a case against anyone involved in the original Russia probe, however, is sure to inflame tensions between the Trump administration and congressional Democrats, who are already ramping up accusations that these Justice Department reviews have become politicized. Oh no, not politicized. That's terrible. Because, none of these investigations before were ever politicized. Because, I don't know, that's really sad. They slammed Attorney General Bill Barr for the DOJ decision Thursday to drop the Flynn case. Yes, they did. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Gerald Nadler, Oompa Loompa from New York, who was a key figure during Trump's impeachment proceeding, called the decision outrageous. The evidence against General Flynn is overwhelming, Nadler, New York, said in a statement. Really? The evidence against General Flynn is overwhelming. Huh. How so? How so? What? Evidence of what? Evidence of what? Nadler and Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee on Friday also formally requested that Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz launch an investigation into Barr's pattern of conduct that includes improper political interference. Well, I have one word for you, Gerald Nadler. Fuck off. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Oh, by the way, speaking of what credibility gaps, Podesta says Hillary knew about Trump opposition research that ended up in the Steele dossier. Oh, really? How could that be? She only paid for it. Anyway, according to recently unsealed testimony, John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's former campaign chairman, told the House Intelligence Committee in December 2017 that both he and Hillary Clinton were aware that her campaign had purchased opposition research on Donald Trump, hoping to uncover ties between him and Russia during the 2016 election. It's funny how all this is just, okay, first of all, I'm impressed a little bit that none of this is leaked. It's rare when shit like this doesn't leak, but part of the reason is because by the time they were allowed to release it, there was a new different party in charge, so they held it up. And it's funny because the other day Schiff told somebody, he blamed the White House for the fact that these documents they just released on Thursday were held up, even though it was he who said that who insisted that the White House not be able to see them. So, sorry, holding back a cough there. Excuse me. Anyway, Podesta's testimony is the most direct acknowledgement about what Donald Trump's opponent knew in real time about the effort that ultimately became known as the Steele dossier, notes John Solomon of Just the News. According to Podesta, Hillary likely didn't know specifically that Fusion GPS or former British spy Christopher Steele were involved in the opposition research effort, but they were both aware of the effort. Here's the exchange according to the transcript. Dr. Wenstrup asks, did Mrs. Clinton or anybody else with the campaign ever talk to you about opposition research and who you might hire? Podesta says no. I think she knew that we had an opposition research staff in-house. We, the campaign, directly purchased some opposition research, and she knew, I think in general terms, that we were trying to figure out, which was not easy, what Mr. Trump's financial relationships were, what his relationships might be to Russia and other former Soviet Union actors. That, but I don't think she wasn't, if I wasn't, she certainly wasn't sort of saying, who are your vendors? Whatever that means. Podesta claimed that he only learned that the effort was funded through the law firm Perkins Coie, and the cost for Fusion and Steele's research were split 50-50 between the Democratic National Committee and the Clinton campaign after the election. Christopher Steele previously testified that he was told by Fusion GPS founder Glenn Simpson that Hillary Clinton and those running her campaign were aware of the research. He also testified in that case that he's being sued in the UK. All right. Let's see what else we got here. How much time we got? We're doing good for time. Oh, now here's speaking of lack of scandals in the Obama administration. Well, take it easy, C. Thomas. Nice to have you drop in. I'm glad you were here. Remember I mentioned that, no scandals in the Obama administration. Well, apparently the Mexican president disagrees. Mexican president demands an apology for Fast and Furious. Says Obama officials should be investigated. Oops, here. Suddenly, as Obamagate trends on Twitter and former President Barack Obama's fake veneer of scandal-free integrity collapses, the president of Mexico is demanding an apology and an explanation for the deadly Obama-era gun-walking scheme known as Operation Fast and Furious. I thought there were no scandals. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador reportedly brought up the gun-running scandal last week while discussing the drug trafficking arrest of Genaro Garcia Luna, Mexico's security minister between 2006 and 2012. Luna was arrested in the United States in December and charged with drug trafficking offenses. The Mexican president said Obama administration officials with the CIA, the FBI, and the DEA should be investigated for potential cooperation with the corrupt former security minister. What seems serious to me is that the violation of our sovereignty was carried out a secret operation and that Mexicans were killed with these weapons, Lopez Obrador said during a press conference in Mexico City on Friday. There is still time for the U.S. to apologize. Foreign Affairs Minister Marcelo Ebrard said he would send a letter to the U.S. asking for detailed information on the gun running scandal. Oh, so it was a scandal. Starting in the fall of 2009 and through December 2010, the Obama administration allowed criminal suspects to walk off with guns purchased from gun shops near the southern border without law enforcement interdicting or tracking them. Republicans suspected that Obama's ATF was attempting to bump up its case numbers by allowing mass quantities of high-powered weapons to walk into the hands of Mexican drug cartels. About 2,000 guns ended up being trafficked to Mexico and used in drug cartel violence, resulting in hundreds of Mexican deaths after Border Patrol agent Brian Terry was murdered with a Fast and Furious gun in December 2010. Several whistleblowers from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, which is my favorite bureau, came forward to express their concerns about the operation. Whistleblowers first contacted Senator Charles Grassley of Iowa, who began investigating the controversy in January 2010. Then on February 22nd, 2011, which would have been, 2011, that would have been me and Lady Boomer's 18th wedding anniversary. Investigative reporter Shell Atkinson filed her first report on the burgeoning scandal on CBS News. Then Attorney General Eric Holder was eventually held in contempt of Congress for withholding documents from Republican congressional investigators, but no scandals in the Obama administration. Documents and testimonies revealed that a national security officer at the Obama White House named Kevin O'Reilly was in constant communication with Bill Newell, the ATF special agent in charge of Fast and Furious, about the case while it was underway. O'Reilly indicated in one email that he wanted to share information about the case with other national security staffers, but stated that it would go no further than that. White House officials have said there is no evidence Newell and O'Reilly ever discussed the controversial tactic of gun walking, and on those grounds have blocked the attempts of congressional Republicans to review O'Reilly, who has since been sent on assignment to Iraq from the State Department. That's from back then. Anyway, the left-wing president urged his predecessor, Felipe Calderon, to explain Mexico's involvement in Fast and Furious, but Calderon replied on Twitter that his government had nothing to do with it. So anyway, the lack of scandal. MC! What's up, my man? Hello, and also good morning, Sugar Blue Driftwood. This is your 420th video? Oh, is it? Holy smokes, I did not know that. I have 327 Morning Night Live, so that could be, thank you. Thanks for keeping track for me. 327 of those videos, Sugar Blind Driftwood, is 327 of them would be this show, because I do this Monday through Friday for a little over a year now, so that's it adds up quickly. All right, moving on. Speaking of credibility gaps, let's go back to New York. Apparently, Mayor de Blasio has, let's just say some people are upset with Mayor de Blasio. The mayor's decision to single out Jews has no evidence in police data because he's under fire for selective enforcement of social distancing guidelines. New York City's Mayor Bill de Blasio is under fire from liberal groups, raising serious concerns about the selective enforcement of social distancing regulations. Oh, and it's the liberal groups that are mad at him now. In the wake of a tweet in which de Blasio singled out Jewish New Yorkers, warning them to adhere to the regulations, two liberal groups on Monday called on the mayor to remove enforcement of the regulations from the purview of the New York City Police Department. You know, here's part of the problem, too, is because when they were supposedly easing some restrictions or whatever, and apparently there was a park near the West Village or whatever, is that what it's called? That was, just overrun with people, whatever, and they weren't stopping them, but they've been going to these parks like in Harlem and locking gates and telling kids to stop playing basketball and all that stuff, and the police, rounding people up who are not social distancing. But over the West Village, de Blasio's scared of the gay mafia over there. Anyway, data compiled by the New York Police Department show that though de Blasio has chided Jews for their failure to follow the guidelines, there's no indication the Orthodox Jewish community has violated the law at a higher rate than other New Yorkers. Black and Hispanic New Yorkers have received the vast majority of police summonses for violating social distancing laws, with criminal justice reform advocates say evidence is that they are being selectively targeted by law enforcement. Oh my God, de Blasio, you racist! Following Mayor de Blasio's comments last month that raised legitimate fears of disparate enforcement toward New York's Orthodox Jewish community, his administration and local officials across the state should have taken every precaution to ensure the enforcement of social distancing rules was carried out equally and consistently throughout the whole city, and without resorting to the kind of over-criminalization that has necessarily subjected far too many people in the criminal justice system, says Khalil Cumberbatch, the chief strategist of New Yorkers United for Justice, which advocates criminal justice reform. De Blasio's stumbling coronavirus response efforts have been a source of controversy. The NYPD union president called de Blasio an idiot! Idiot! For his comments about the Jewish community, which has been the target of increasing anti-Semitic violent attacks. Every time they say the word, in New York, the increasing anti-Semitic violent attacks, they always fail to mention that it's not like Trumpers living in New York doing those attacks. Oh no. There's a little bit of a clash between the Brethren and the Brothers in Brooklyn. I'm not sure if you know about that situation in Brooklyn and Queens. There's a little, like I said, a little bit of there's a clash between the Brethren and the Brothers that's been going on for a long time there, that the mayor just doesn't want to acknowledge. So he likes to use the word anti-Semitic, thinking, oh, this is this anti-Semitism in the era of Trump. Oh, no. There's no WS issue in that particular clash between the Brethren and the Brothers. Just saying. And not one Muslim charged or bugged. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he, it's interesting because de Blasio was encouraging people to, or he made a big deal about saying something about Ramadan, but I don't know if there were any gatherings, so to speak, for Ramadan that he made any big deal about. But he did get mad about a funeral. It's a very selective, de Blasio's very selective enforcement is getting under people's skin. Let's just put it that way. The mayor also faced criticism last week for suggesting he might close the city parks just days after he was spotted traveling 12 miles to take a walk in his favorite park in Brooklyn, a potential violation of his ban on non-essential trips. His former spokeswoman, Liz Smith, panned his performance on Monday, telling Politico, "I do not think he has done well." And I don't know a single person who thinks he's done well. So anyway, good. He deserves, and there's a whole lot more to this article, but I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, good. De Blasio needs to be taken down a peg. All right, moving on. More Joe Biden. Joe Biden likens the running mate process to a pinup calendar competition. Oh, Joe. Joe, you crack me up. When you say that you're definitely going to make the vice president candidate is definitely going to be a woman, maybe, you're trying to appeal to feminists and women everywhere, and then you liken it to a pinup contest. Oh my God. In private encounters, Joe Biden likened a vice presidential nominee selection process to browsing monthly morsels in a pinup calendar. Oh my God. Oh Lord, no. Stacey Abrams and Elizabeth Warren have no business on a pinup calendar. Anyway, the New York Times reported, "It's not lost to Mr. Biden that whomever he chooses might well be elected to the nation's elected the nation's first female president after his turn, or at least become a new frontrunner for the distinction. He has called himself a bridge to the next generation of Democratic leaders, a transitional figure whose chief goal is the removal of Trump. That Biden is a 77-year-old man. They forgot he's a 77-year-old white man. But anyway, excuse me, that Biden is a 77-year-old man likely to accept the nomination during a pandemic has attached even weightier stakes to his decision. In private encounters before this campaign, Mr. Biden has likened running mate evaluation to deciding among calendar models with 3 broad categories and outdated honorifics. Contenders can be a Mr. August, a shot of momentum in the summer, a Mr. October, a reliable and effective campaigner for the fall, or a Mr. January, a governing partner, politics notwithstanding. Biden used the Mr. title before he had declared that he would nominate a woman as his running mate. Okay, so this was before he announced he'd have a woman as running mate. So anyway, the story comes as Biden continues to defend himself against the allegations that he sexually assaulted then staffer Tara Reid. So anyway, but the fact that okay, that's a little bit unfair of Breitbart. Okay, he did do it. He said this long before he said for sure that he have a woman as a running mate, but still, all's fair in love and politics. Moving on. Speaking of contenders, Harris and Warren are apparently top contenders in Biden's hunt for a pinup girl. I mean, I'm sorry, vice presidential candidate. Oh, ew, James Colley. Ew. I don't even want to read that. You can look at the chat yourself. No. Anyway, Democratic donors and operatives are eyeing Senators Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren as top potential picks to be Joe Biden's vice president. Harris, Democrat California, is the favorite among major party donors. You know, Harris didn't even make it to fucking Iowa. I mean, she no. Oh my God. And I tell you what, Harris may be somewhat of the African American persuasion, partially, but the brothers and sisters don't like Elizabeth Warren, so that might backfire. And let's see, Warren, Democrat, Massachusetts, is running second in the Veep stakes with support from party progressive wing. Biden supporters' feeling towards Harris have apparently grown warmer since the senator delivered one of the most aggressive attacks on Biden from any presidential candidate throughout the campaign. Since the Democratic Party primary effectively ended, Biden and Harris have had several phone calls. Harris has refrained from directly lobbying the former vice president to be the other half of his ticket. However, for most presidential campaigns, overt lobbying by potential VP picks is considered impolite, if not rude. That's probably why Stacey Abrams won't get it, because she's out there, I don't know. She's out there like it's a parade, and she's parading back and forth, whatever. So anyway, great, Harris and Elizabeth Warren. All right, moving on. Let's see, Trump. Oh, Trump thinks Chuck Todd should be fired for the deceptive edit of AG Barr. I just want to see if the clip is here. Okay, so here is. I'm just going to show you this again. This is so bad by Chuck Todd, and the president actually tweeted that Chuck Todd should be fired for this. Here's that terrible edit they did, and also the actual quote by Barr.
You brought up Bill Barr. Peggy Noonan, I want you to listen to this Bill Barr answer to a question about what will history say about this. Wait till you hear this answer. Take a listen.
When history looks back on this decision, how do you think it will be written?
Well, history's written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history.
I was struck, Peggy, by the cynicism of the answer. It's a correct answer, but he's the Attorney General. He didn't make the case that he was upholding the rule of law. He was almost admitting.
Now, listen to the words that Chuck Todd just said. He didn't make the case that he was upholding the rule of law. Now, listen, NBC News and Chuck Todd certainly watched this interview when they decided to edit that particular video in that way. He didn't even mention that he was upholding the rule of law, Chuck Todd says.
A political job.
When history looks back on this decision, how do you think it will be written?
Well, history's written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history. But I think a fair history would say it was a good decision because it upheld the rule of law.
I think we mentioned yesterday, I think it was in the
it upheld the standards of the Department of Justice, and it undid what was an injustice.
So anyway, hours later, NBC programming officials' Twitter account offered a tepid apology. Here's their apology. You're correct. Earlier today, we inadvertently and inaccurately cut short a video clip of an interview with AG Barr before offering commentary and analysis. The remaining clip included important remarks from the Attorney General that we missed, and we regret the error. That was some deliberate shit. Anyway, so the president chimed in on Twitter. He should be fired by Comcast. If it was done by a Republican, they would be prosecuted. So, yeah, their sorry ass apology was bullshit. Anyway, let's see. We're getting down to the end here. Let's. Sonny Hostin confronts. So Shelley Luther, the salon owner that they were going to jail in Texas, and then the Texas governor and the Texas Supreme Court got involved and said, nope, we're not jailing her. Well, Sonny Hostin seems to think that this particular salon owner is responsible for an uptick in Texas coronavirus cases. Great. Sonny Hostin blamed a recent uptick in Texas coronavirus cases on people like Shelley Luther, the salon owner who defied stay-at-home orders to reopen. Hostin made the comments to Luther directly during a Monday segment of ABC's The View. Here it is. This is terrible. Oh, come on. Why does it... ABC's embeds always do this shit. Come on. It'll take a second. Anyway, missed. Big fan. Yep. Here, I forgot that for you. There you go, Lindsay. Okay, and then there's an ad. We'll wait till the ad's over. It's 30 seconds. Anyway. Let's see. I'll catch up in the chat. Anybody saw the bit that HB skipped in Biden's virtual rally video where a bird chirps loudly at the mic while Biden speaks? Hilariously funny grand finale for such an epic fail. No, I did not see that. I've missed HB's show last couple of days. Although, if you're looking for HB, Hard Bastard, his show's generally been on D Live. He sometimes will do a pre-show on YouTube, but he's very wary of using YouTube as they ended one of his streams prematurely once. All right, here's The View here.
So we were very appreciative.
Here we go. Come on.
Shelley, coronavirus cases are already rising.
All right, let me pause this real quick. Thank you, Mr. Scott, for the $2 donation. Oh, dude. Okay, Mr. Scott, thank you for the super chat. First super chat of the day. Thank you. Super chats are the lifeblood of keeping this show alive. Although so is the chat. So, Mr. Scott with the $2. What is the definition of Jewish dilemma? Free pork. Oh, okay. All right, let's rewind here. Here we go.
So we were very appreciative of that.
Shelley, coronavirus cases are already rising in Texas and across the country where restrictions have been lifted.
Oh, are they?
And
are you sure,
worried
Sonny?
About your staff and your customers? I mean, I would assume you're worried about your staff and customers getting sick since there's now an uptick because of people not following the rules, like yourself.
Oh, is it her?
Well, I think that there's a rise in the COVID cases because there's more testing available, and that has been discussed before.
Yeah, there's more
so
testing.
We expected a rise in the cases. What we need to look at is the number of deaths, if that is plateauing at all, and to make sure that we have room in our hospital
Good
beds.
answer, Shelley
And
Luther.
Texas has plenty of room in their beds and are able to care for the people that need to come in at this time. As a matter of fact, there's doctors and nurses getting furloughed because there's not enough work.
Good answer, Shelley. Good answer.
Okay, well, the one thing that I do want to...
I was expecting you to be smart, so let me try and figure out how I'm going to shit on you anyway. So let's see what Whoopi says to this.
Point out, Shelley, before we go, is that, I understand why you did what you did, but I would like to hear you put some of that fury and that passion towards the governments that didn't take care of the people.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. What do you think they're doing, Whoopi? Oh my God. Wait, Sean, why are you going to the corner, Sean? I'm not sure. Hey, Green Thunder to Mighty. Nice to see you back. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're here. Welcome.
What they're supposed to do. So I want you
What
to
were they supposed to do?
all those folks who are not getting what they're supposed to be getting and not getting the information that they need.
What are you talking about,
I
Whoopi?
think I'll feel better about watching you tell people I'm feeding my people. I get it. We thank you for coming.
You're so snide. I can't stand them.
We'll see you again, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, her answer was perfect for that situation. Very good. Very well done. All right, I got two more, and then we're going to go to trends and hashtag. We'll go to the hashtag first today. Brian Stelter melts down over conservative media exposing Russiagate conspiracies. Well, Brian Stelter's not happy. Call it a symptom of Trump derangement syndrome. CNN Brian Stelter suffered an on-air meltdown Sunday over conservative media paying any attention to arguably the largest spy scandal in American history, instead of breathlessly covering the ongoing public health pandemic, which center-right outlets are still doing. The death toll isn't something that... Well, here, we'll just play it, because listen to him.
In the midst of a crisis, the size of which we've never seen. The data is important. The numbers are important.
You don't think one of the biggest scandals in American history is important? Brian Stelter? I wish I could overdub this.
Isn't something to just be downplayed. It's not something we can hide.
Nobody's downplaying it, Brian. Do you know there's other news besides the coronavirus situation? Do you know that there are other stories that can be covered at the same time, Ryan?
Even if it is gut-wrenching to hear about every day. It's like New Orleans floods every day.
He's about to cry.
Like the planes go into the towers every day.
Brian.
And to look away or act like it's now normal.
Wait a minute, look away? How are we looking away? We haven't stopped talking about this for 3 months. And everyone's still in their fucking homes, Brian. Would like to get out, and we'd like to do it safely, and we'd want to figure out when we're going to do it, but it's not the only story on the news. I know you'd like to be. I know you would like to distract from the fact that we may have had one of the biggest scandals in American political history. It's not coronavirus and COVID-19 and all this is not the only story. And I don't know why CNN... What does CNN stand for, Brian? I really don't know. It's the CNN... Cable News Network. Not COVID News Network. Not China News Network. Not Xi Jinping News Network. Cable news is the key word in this name network. Please learn to walk and chew gum and listen to your headphones at the same time.
Or acceptable is a disgrace to the victims.
It's a disgrace to the victims that you're not telling anybody else about any other news. No one's hiding COVID. Can't stop talking about COVID. It's on the front of every damn newspaper in the country every day. It's your top story every day. It's in the news conferences every day. It's on every website every day. Fucking A.
It's so disappointing to look at what we're seeing from right-wing media these days, where there's such an obsession with the deep state and these revelations about the Russia probe.
Oh, the revelations of the story that you've been getting wrong for 3 years, Brian, that you've salivated over 3 years. The walls are closing in. And when the walls didn't close, Brian, you got a reprieve from a little COVID, a little coof. That is obviously devastating the entire world. But, Brian, they can talk about some other things. It's okay, Brian. It's okay.
And the decision about Michael Flynn, they're treating the Michael Flynn story like it's a bigger deal than the deaths of 2,000 Americans a day.
No, they're not. But it is important. It is important that possibly the President of the United States possibly was involved in the framing of one of his own officials, because that official was also going to be a part of the next administration. Or that official might expose some of the secrets of his administration. Or even if he wasn't the key player, even if he wasn't the one pulling strings, even if it was the top officials in the CIA, the FBI, the Director of National Intelligence, do you think that's an important story, Brian? Do you think it would be like, let's say, for example, if right now, let's say this whole COVID thing was happening right now, but it was 1972, and Burns and Woodstein, or whatever, or Bernstein, Woods, whatever the hell their names are, discovered the Watergate scandal. Do you think for 1 second that there would be only 2 stories on CNN, and the bigger one would be the Watergate scandal? It would be top news every day on CNN. But now that it's not, oh, wait a minute, it's something that we don't support, well, we shouldn't be focusing too much time on that, because you know what? We've got some COVID out there, and we should talk about that 24/7.
You know, we're seeing this on Fox and Friends and other shows. When the president called into Fox and Friends the other morning, Friday morning, right before the unemployment came out, he talked about the Flynn case for 20 minutes before he was asked about the pandemic. In what right mind?
He talks about the pandemic every day to the American people through the press conference that he has every fucking day. But he doesn't spend a lot of time talking about the Flynn case, because the reporters aren't asking him as many questions about that, are they? They ask him a couple, but they really aren't interested in that, because that makes them look bad, because they find out they were wrong for 3 years.
Is any scandal, any political scandal, any Department of Justice story more important to ask the president about than the pandemic that's raging?
Oh, you mean the one he talks about every day, Brian? Do you not hear him talk about it every day? In fact, you guys criticize him for talking about it every day. You say he lies about it every day. So at least we can find some truth in this little scandal that happened in Washington that you guys were wrong about for 3 years, Brian. I know, it exposes you, Brian. Sorry.
Ultimately, that's about news judgment. It's It's about lack of judgment.
Oh,
but I find
is it
befuddling.
Is it, Brian?
And some people are acting like this death toll is just normal and accepted and common and just another day now.
Is it, Brian? You know what? It's very frustrating, isn't it, Brian?
Imagine if 1,000 to 2,000 Americans were dying a day from terror attacks.
Brian? I think it's, let's see. Let's just look something up here. How many people die every year in the United States on average? An average of 7,708 deaths occurred each day on average. 7,700 deaths each day in the United States on average. Every day. Oh my God. Does that mean, let's see, let's do a little calculation here. 8 times 365 times, what did I say, 7,700 equals 22,484,000 people died during the Obama administration. How did Obama not save them all? Okay.
Imagine the president's response.
Oh.
All right. That's where we start. That's how I'm feeling.
Nope, that's where we end, Brian, because I'm not listening to you anymore. Click. All right, let's see. Okay, we're going to skip that one, and we'll skip Seth Rich. All right, let's get into the... do a quick take into the hashtag, because someone asked me to do that first before I did other things today. Let's see. I'm going to go find... let's see, Jay Wolf. I'm laughing about this one here because this is just for you that forgot what this looks like. Here's what a beer sitting on top of a bar looks like, just in case anybody's forgotten. Thank you, Pirate Pete. Jay Wolf. Let's see. I'm going to let me make sure that. Wait, what? Jay? Anyone? Mark Dice tweet about what Stelter's surname means? No, I did not. Is this the one? Oh, this is the Birx story. So here again, yeah, this is the Birx story we did a little bit earlier. Deborah Birx, White House Coronavirus Task Force response coordinator blasted the CDC during a task force meeting discussing COVID-19. Now, that was the first story of the day. Jay, were you here for the first story? I'm not sure. So we saw that one. Let's see. Check. Moving up on PDawg News. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Oh, that's so funny because we're this is from Pirate Pete. We're gonna need a bigger hoax. According to one of my favorite movie lines of all time is "We're gonna need a bigger boat." I think Pete saw that the other day. Here's the other one. Apparently, I missed it, but apparently Don Lemon said that Michelle Obama was better looking than Melania Trump, which makes total sense because since he's attracted to men. Okay, we talked about that a while ago. Let me see if I can find one. Excuse me. Closer today. Oh, we did talk about the Iranian Navy sinking one of their own warships with a missile. We talked about that one yesterday. And here they are. This is what I was looking for. Pirate Pete finally showed the pictures of his finished product, all sauced up. That's looking mighty fine. I am thrilled. Look at that plate. I am just mouth's watering. Kind of hard there. All right. And police change with naked. Okay, we did the. Okay, this is here's MS. This is one. Police chase ends with naked man running into a church, then overdosing. Oh, they overdosed after he ran into the church. Oh, Kerry's chief security officer was arrested for pedophilia. Okay, I'll see if I can find that one. It's safe to say that no one in the audience at the Sunday service at Life Church in Skowhegan was ready for this. It was definitely something that was a little bit nerve-wracking, something that you cannot prepare for, said Pastor John Davis. It was the second week holding parking lot services per the governor's order, and Pastor John Davis says all members of the church were in their cars when they heard sirens. As I was standing near the stage, I saw someone coming very quickly and then drove into our church driveway at a rapid pace. The surprising thing, when 2 police cars followed, the man was screaming, his stereo was blaring, his body was half hanging out of the vehicle. He was beating the side of the vehicle. He jumped out of it as it was still rolling. It rolled into one of the vehicles that was parked in the parking lot. When he got out was the big surprise. He came out as he absolutely had no clothes on, with all the parishioners sitting in awkward silence, said Davis. Skowhegan police say 37-year-old Thomas Bouchard had taken his mother's car without her permission, but prior to taking the vehicle here, completely stripped off his clothes and then jumped behind the wheel and started traveling towards Norwich Rock. Both the officers attempted to stop him on Route 2, but he refused to pull over. They followed him into the town of Norwich Rock, where he pulled into the church and jumped out of the moving vehicle, which was going slow enough that it collided with another vehicle. There was no damage reported, and no one was injured, said Skowhegan Police Chief David Bucknam. Yeah, we're just sitting at okay. Oh, and then wait a minute. What about the overdosing? What did he overdose on? I don't even says that. Okay, let's see. Oh, let's see. He was flipping chairs, says Davis. They gave him 2 shots of Narcan, and then he died, according to police, on my platform. And the interesting thing is our assistant pastor was there, and he began to hear him pray as if he was saying, "Father, forgive me." Okay, Mr. Bouchard stopped breathing, said Bucknam. It took 3 doses of naloxone to get him revived. Excuse me. And breathing on his own. Okay. Wow. So he was naked and afraid, and then he died, and then they brought him back to life. Okay, that's really weird. All right, and a top story. It'd be the top stories here, Jay. That's my problem. I'm on the wrong page. Let's see here. Let's find Jay Wolf's story here. Oh no, the double rainbow dude died. Paul Bear Vasquez lived simply. He sheltered on the side of a mountain outside Yosemite National Park, grew his own food, woke up every day. The double rainbow guy. That was a big meme. Oh no. Jay Wolf. Is this the one you're talking about? No, that's a different one. Where's the other one, Jay Wolf? Hang on a second here. Okay, so this one, DNA leads federal investigators to suspect serial killer in Iowa. Ugh. I'm gonna skip that one for now. This is interesting though. Honest FBI agents come forward to blow whistle on Comey, McCabe, Holder, Lynch, Brennan, and more. Beg Congress to subpoena them. That's interesting. Let's see. Yes. Today we learned that a meaningful number of FBI agents with knowledge of the Bureau's workings under Mueller and Comey have come forward to spill their guts. Finally, these patriots have asked Congress to subpoena them so that they might legally testify without breaking the laws governing their testimony. Joe DeGeneva, a former highly regarded U.S. prosecutor who has repeatedly accused former FBI James Comey of being a dirty cop, said, quote, "There are agents all over the country who love the Bureau and are sickened by James Comey's behavior, and Andrew McCabe's and Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch, and the thugs like John Brennan who despise the fact that the Bureau was used as a tool of political intelligence by the Obama administration thugs. They're just waiting for a chance to come forward and testify. Kudos to the data caller for their work on this bombshell revelation." So every special agent I have spoken to in the Washington field office wants to see McCabe prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. They feel the same way about Comey. All Congress needs to do is subpoena involved personnel, and they will tell you what they know. These are honest people. Leadership cannot stop anyone from responding to a subpoena. Those subpoenaed also get legal counsel provided by the government to represent them. The administrations are so politicized that at any time a special agent comes forward as a whistleblower, they can expect to be thrown under the bus by leadership. Go against the Muslim Brotherhood, you're crushed. Go against the Clintons, you're crushed. The FBI has long been politicized to the detriment of national security law enforcement. So good. There's some people ready to step up. That's awesome. All right. Jay, oh, what? Now wait a minute. Alexander Vindman admits making up parts of Trump call summary. Now, I have not heard this. This would be big news. Well, it'd be big news if we didn't have COVID. See, Brian Stelter, there's news we're not hearing because we're talking about COVID all the time. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman admitted he made up elements of President Trump's call with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in an official summary. So this must have been released recently too. Prior to the call, Vindman included a discussion about corruption in the talking points provided to the president, but Trump did not use them in the call. The summary Vindman wrote after the call read, quote, President Trump underscored unwavering support of the United States for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity within its international recognized borders, and expressed his commitment to work together with President-elect Zelensky and the Ukrainian people to implement reforms that strengthen democracy, increase prosperity, and root out corruption. But Vindman, But Vindman clarified during his testimony that the president did not bring up the topic of rooting out corruption during the phone call, but he included it in his summary of the call anyway. When asked by a Democrat counsel about whether the summary he wrote was false, Vindman hesitated. That's not entirely accurate, but I'm sure I would describe it as false. It was consistent with U.S. policy, Vindman said. Vindman said he included the rhetoric about corruption as a messaging platform to describe U.S. policy towards Ukraine, even though it was not discussed in the call. So that's a minor detail, but hey, if Vindman lied, Vindman lied. And we know that liars go to jail. Unless they're Democrats. Okay. Yeah, sad that the double rainbow guy died. Got the naked man running and Pete's Grill. All right. That's it. That's it. I know. I know. Is there anything trending on Twitter? Oh, so the Senate hearing is trending number one. I'll get into the details of that later. The Senate hearing that with Dr. Fauci. Only a few minutes into this Senate hearing, it's very clear this isn't about public health. It's about partisan politics. The American people are sick and tired of this. No shocker that this has been it's probably a shit show. Imagine not believing a doctor during a pandemic while believing a man who won't show his tax returns, cheated on all his wives, ignored warnings, engages in racism daily. And harasses anyone who disagrees because you watched a conspiracy video on YouTube. Breaking. Oh, Ms. Krassenstein. Brian Krassenstein, or his uglier twin brother, tweeting under the name of one of their wives, says, breaking. Dr. Fauci says the COVID-19 death toll is likely higher than the 80,000 reported. This directly contradicts Trump's lies that the reported numbers are overstated. Wait, okay, hold up. It's time to transition to Biden. Hold the fuck up. Dr. Fauci says the COVID-19 death toll is likely higher than the 80,000 reported. Dr. Birx thinks they could be up to 25% lower than the number reported. So, and then Trump contradicts Trump's lies that the reported numbers are overstated. Is that a lie or an opinion? Because Dr. Fauci's is also an opinion. We just don't know. And oh my God, I don't know. Bernie Sanders, the official statistic, Dr. Fauci said 80,000 Americans have died from the pandemic. There are some epidemiologists who suggest the number may be 50% higher than that. What do you think? Fauci, most of us feel the number of deaths is likely higher. Really? What about Dr. Birx? Because she doesn't think so. Okay, so anyway, we're going to hear, it's just everyone's going to have their own hot take about these hearings. Since I'm not watching them right now, I'm done talking about them right now. Rand Paul's trending. Apparently he did some, I'm going to skip because it's probably Rand Paul was asking questions. And trending with Richard Burr. Trending with Richard Burr, though. Did he have a... Rand Paul saves the day, calls out the experts and says, you are not the end all to make all decisions. Okay, so apparently some people are happy about that and some people aren't. If Laura Ingram's happy about that, Manu Raju's not happy about that. Rand Paul, who had COVID and doesn't wear a mask because he says he's almost certainly has immunity, asked Dr. Fauci about having immunity after getting COVID. Fauci says it's very likely someone has immunity now after getting it, indicating there's no way to formally prove it yet. Okay, well that's an interestingly neutral take from Manu Raju. I've never, I guess, okay, never mind. Rand Paul is a doctor. Now Rand Paul is suggesting that the mortality of children is low and therefore not a big deal. What's wrong with these people? No, it's not that it's not a big deal, but it's the truth. Mortality in children is low with COVID-19. Less than 0.01%. Most states don't have a single child who's died from this. Okay? That's just a fact. It's not a judgment. It doesn't say anything other than that's the fact. And you say follow the facts. That's the fact, Amy Siskin. You hoe. All right, moving on. Anyway, Trump's tax returns. Yeah, the Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments on whether or not the Southern District of New York needs access to his tax returns. That's such a bullshit. Just such a bullshit thing. If Trump had issues with his taxes, wouldn't you think 20 years of IRS audits or 10 years of IRS audits would have found them and maybe referred them to somebody if there were problems with them, or made them fix them if there were problems, which if there were problems, he probably did fix them. Otherwise, he would have even more problems with the Justice Department, not just the IRS. So it's just someone wants to find something in his tax returns they can try and embarrass him with. Anyway, so that's the Supreme Court's talking about that today. Let's see what else. If there's anything else interesting. I don't know why they're going to make Hamilton into a film. Yippee. Trump's tax return, Dr. Fauci, Tuesday vibes, SCOTUS, that's because he's talking about taxes. Classless. McConnell, classless Obama should have kept his mouth shut. Okay, HuffPost. Mitch McConnell, classless Obama should have kept his mouth shut about Trump. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell thinks former President Barack Obama should have kept his mouth shut about President Trump since leaving office, and he called Obama classless for criticizing Trump's response to COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, which has so far claimed more than 80,000 lives. They love telling you how many people have died. They love telling you that. Mooley Porchers, how you doing? Black Hebrew Israelites, what's up?
That's right.
Irish Rose, that's happening. I'm seeing names I didn't see yet. All right, okay, so Mitch McConnell called Obama classless, which will get him complete and utter hell on Twitter today. Great. Alito is trending. I don't know why. Maybe some questions he asked. Editors letter how Boris Johnson's half-baked coronavirus. Yeah, they're blaming Boris Johnson for how it's going in England. It's who knows. Anything else important? The justices are all trending. Senator Patty Murray. Okay, so everything pretty much right now is senators and about the hearing and the Supreme Court. That's everything that's trending. So you'll hear about all that shit tomorrow. I've really had enough. Okay, hey, but I haven't had enough of you guys, and I would really love to see you come back tomorrow or any other weekday, because we're here at the Morning Night Live Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT from our friends around the world, like Richo from Down Under, my buddy from Down Under. So make sure you drop by or check your notifications. If you're not subscribed, subscribe right now. In fact, I'll get a little notification if you're not subscribed and you subscribe right now. I'm just curious. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, ring that little bell so that make sure you get notifications, or you can follow me right there. Twitter, mine's Gabs at PDawg Night. If you're watching a replay of this show and not live, please leave a comment in the comment section so that I know you were here. And before you go, hit the like button on the way out. If you like what we do, hit the like button. Just let me know. I want to know if he really loves me. Okay, I don't want to know if he really loves me, but I want to know if you really love me. Hit the like button on the way out, and you can always support the channel with your donations and or super chats through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. It usually shows up in the chat over there. I mean, the chat's over that way. Well, it's that way and it's that way, depending on how you're watching the show. And I think that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. My name is PDawg Night, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawg Night, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Night, and I'm out of here.